I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Hey, friends, how was break? Good? Yeah? All right. Exciting. Thank you for being here. Again, I'm Andrea Griffiths, and I work at a sticker company called GitHub. And today, I hope to share with you some of the fun things that we're working on. Let me go way 1 second with the slides, please. There we go. OK. There we go. Now you see me. Beautiful. So welcome. Thank you for being here. If you're coming in, Paul was talking about a game of odds and entries, and we're going to be doing something similar here today. So for the gamblers on the audience, close the door, more chances for you to win. But what I try to showcase today is how we can apply technologies like generative AI to build fun things and then more serious things, right? So I transitioned into tech well into my early 30s, pardon, and I understand firsthand how tough it is when you have responsibilities, be it your business or be it life, right, like mortgage bills, kids, dogs, to try something new, to adopt a new technology. You always take a pause. It's exciting. We live in exciting times. There's a lot coming at us. I'm sure maybe some of you have tried GitHub's AI technology, maybe some other brand. But the idea here is that whether we like it or not, it's here to stay, and we're here to be transformed, right? The industry is changing super, super fast, and I want to show you how we can take those innovations and use them to our advantage by doing something like building this little Raffle app. So we're going to do it with the help of AI, and if you might wonder why a Raffle, for one, I thought I was one of the last talks. So I was like, people would be very tired. Let's do something fun. But for two, it gives an opportunity to take a look at some of the most innovative techniques on web development right now. And we're going to be using GitHub Copilot. We're going to use Next.js. And of course, we're going to deploy it to Netlify. And it gives me a chance to do my most favorite thing ever to do, and that's give away GitHub swag. So let's get started. But before we do, I do want us to take a moment of pause and have the reflection moment. I'm a very nostalgic person, so I always do this. Do you remember your first deployment ever? Yeah? OK. I see some smiles, so maybe it wasn't a bad experience. So some of us had great tools that we work with. Some others, it was tough. It was tough, right? Back in the day, I don't know, let's say 7 years ago, 8 years ago, like deploying was not the smooth sailing that we have today. We had tools. We had, like, for example, Heroku. That free tier was like boss. I loved it. If you ever try frantically to keep your dino awake, I see you. We have AWS, fantastic, hey, super powerful, like just captain in a massive ship. And just like the captain of a massive ship, if you didn't read the manual, you're going to sink it. So it was tough. Yes, we had options, but the options we had required a level of tech know-how that would make today's junior devs just kind of break out in a cold sweat a little bit. I know I for sure felt like that. So there were options. Think about it. When you had your first deployment, whether it be 5, 10, 20 years ago, did you get that feeling of like, that was awesome, or the just scary one? What you see on the screen is how I came out so much better than most people, and that's because I had Netlify, right? I had this game changer. This is one of the first dashboards. Again, I'm back to being nostalgic of Netlify. Do you remember this dashboard? This is like circa 2008, maybe, or 7. But with Netlify, everything changed, because then no more FTPs, no more worries about server configurations. You just plug the thing to your GitHub repo, and boom, it worked. And that was awesome. This right here was the beginning of a new era in productivity for all of us. And here's the proof of my first deployment. Please, I never shown this in public because it's embarrassing. But I was super green. I felt so empowered to be able to do this. I think, what's the date? 2016. You know, I stared at this screen because my terrible, terrible, terrible formatted website, it was live. It worked. Everyone could see it. And it doesn't look like much, but to me, back then, transitioning into tech, being a late-stage career changer, it was a big deal to be able to have a tool that could do that for me. I'm not going to say I did it like overnight, but even that took me a bit. And I tell you this because, of course, all of us started somewhere, but not only that, I'm as excited as I was in that picture about the tools that I'm going to be sharing with you today and the state of web development now. And I could definitely have used some of that AI to like help me center that div. Like this is, It's scary. It's scary. The great thing is that we don't have to suffer like that anymore, right? We don't want the new generation of developers, your new employees, your new colleagues to struggle like we used to have. I'm of the school that just because it sucked for me, it doesn't have to suck for everyone, right? We're in the now in this new era of productivity where we are working to make things more efficient, more accessible, to build them with a cadence that's fast, to ship fast but ship well. And the tool that we're going to be looking at today, it would have been something out of science fiction at the time that I got started, for sure. Again, I wish I had it. And that tool is GitHub Copilot, right? Let me ask you a question. How many of you write code every single day? Like every day you're in front of a computer writing code. That's epic. Awesome. How many of you have done such a great job at writing code that now you're a manager? And so you get to sit on meetings and just write emails, and you get to, yeah. So also congratulations, that's awesome too. But Copilot can be your friend here at all stages, right? Whether it be you're starting, you're mid-level, you're in a CTO position, there is value for you to lean into this technology. And by building this silly little game, hopefully you can see how it can help, right? So let's dive right in. This is my proposal. This is what I sent in. I love sending talk proposals because you always have these amazing ideas. And how many of us truly flesh them out before you send it? You're like, yeah, I'm going to do that thing. And then you start building it and you think about it. Even though I did not have all of the details fleshed out, I didn't fully, generally speaking, had an idea of what I wanted, what framework I was going to build it in. But definitely wasn't a well-thought-out plan. I had a lot of confidence because I have GitHub Copilot, and it's become a bridge changer for me, right? Because it's filling the gap for me, because I also not in the code every single day. And having that extra layer of assurance that no matter how complex things got, I was going to have a sounding board, and I was going to be able to actually get this done on time to come here, even if I just finished it a moment ago. That was great. That worked for me, and I hope it works for you. Having that tool that's going to help me write the code is one thing, but as we know now, we're not in it just to write code. Now we need to know a lot more than that. And I think this is where GitHub Copilot Workspace can be also your best friend. This is not any longer about just having a generative AI helping you type the code, giving you suggestions. We're beyond that at GitHub. We can take the capabilities of GitHub Copilot and integrate them into every part of the software development process, be it ideating, like literally when I was thinking out, what am I going to say at Compose, to writing the code, to deploying it, writing a test, documenting it. So utilizing GitHub Copilot Workspace is really a leg up for you. And we're going to take a look and see at the beginning of how this started to get built, right? So if you see this is my favorite code editor. Who uses VS Code here? It's OK. I won't ask who uses the other ones because they'll yell at me. But thank you for using VS Code. I love it. But you can see here how I'm using the add workspace / new agent to literally quite lazily type my description and ask Copilot to then create this scaffolding for me. This is something that we could not do long ago. So it's thinking, it's parsing through the requests that I had, and I'm telling it what framework I want to use. I think as a best practices, I would suggest that you start typing the code yourself, but for purpose of demonstration, who wants to spend time reading docs and manually scaffolding things? So there is. In a matter of seconds, it created this project workspace for me. I'm not confined to this, but it looks good because I specify certain functions that I wanted my app to have. You can see how additionally to the boilerplate Next.js files, it gave me very specific things, like the selecting a winner function. And then once that's done, I can open in a code space. I can start working right there. But that's taken a lot of the burden from me at this point. It's taken me from that idea and staring at the blank screen and thinking, oh, no, I should not say I was going to do that, to, hey, I did the thing. And these divs are center. So this is thanks to Copilot. Super basic, just functional. All I needed was to be able to interact with the GitHub API, pull those comments, and then one of you is going to win this beauty here. So it was great. It worked. But I think we could do better, right? So let's see how we can iterate into this app and get it looking a little bit better. But before we do that, I need your help. This is how we're going to do our giveaway today. So this is for the gambling folks. So either scan the QR code or navigate to your GitHub, just gh.io/comment. That's going to take you straight to an issue. And in that issue, all you have to do is leave a comment. You don't have to, say anything. Just leave an emoji. Tell me how your break was, how you think this stock is going. Just be nice. Just leave a comment, and then we're going to use the app to pull the comments and select a winner from that pool. And the price is little Mona here. Don't worry if you don't get to scan it right now. We're going to show it again once before we move on. So back to our pretty web app. Very simple. There it is. It's got all I need. I can deploy this to Netlify, and now I have a URL. I can send folks to go ahead and run this Raffle for me. It's going to retrieve the comments, but I think I want to have even more interesting things happening there. And I should correct myself because it's not about being lazy, it's about being efficient. So we can do much better, right? So let's enhance this app now with some additional features. I'm going to ask Copilot to do the things that we see on the screen, add a state for the winner, to implement that select winner function, to create a winner display, to add confetti because confetti is fun. And then to make sure the winner is random, which is important, and that is the winner's name is properly highlighted on the top, so if you're in the back and you won, you know it was yours. So take a look here. I'm actually starting from the workspace in this moment. And you saw that I literally copy and pasted that task, like laundry list of items. I've given it to the GitHub Copilot workspace, and it's showing me first the state of the app, which is important. It's going to tell me what current capabilities I have as the code lies, right? As the code lies. And then it's going to give me the proposal for how can we achieve the task that you described you wanted to do. It's going to use that logic to generate things like setting up the state management, writing the functions, and it's going to help me by suggesting the code in a more efficient way, much quicker than if I had to honestly think through all of that. So the beauty of this system here, and it's kind of on a loop, but it's still good, it's that once that first portion of the plan is generated, I'm not confined to an accept or reject. Like, that is not what Copilot is about. It's going to enable me to ideate more, even in the middle of the generation. So if I decide that I want to use something else, I can go ahead and type that as a revision, and it's going to go ahead and review itself and give me new capabilities. And the way it does that is by going through these simple steps. It's going to parse through our files. This is why having the right files to begin with and maybe starting to write the code yourself is so important. And based on the relevance to what it is that we want to accomplish, so my literal language, spoken language description of what I wanted to get there, it will update the plan, and it's going to generate that code base solely on intent. So it's not just randomly spitting out code. It's very much taking into consideration what your intent was and the current state of the application. It's not just working behind the scenes, which is one thing that I love about this, and I think it's got a bit of misunderstanding that it's going to do those things for me without my guidance. No, I remain the pilot, and nothing gets committed unless I say so. This is a collaboration. That's what it is. Collaboration between AI and developer. And that's going to make that experience so much better, at least for me. It makes it a lot more fun. So then we can do more fun things, like tap into Netlify functions, which most of you are familiar with. I have a very specific use case for this, and it's that when we're giving away a lot of swag, and sometimes there's like hundreds of people in front of me, I don't remember who won what. So I want to add a small function that's going to send me an email and let me know who the name of the username that was picked by the application, right? Like, super simple. I should be able to do that using a combination of Netlify functions, serverless functions, and leaning into something like Postmark. With the serverless function on Netlify, it's going to trigger that backend process. So now I don't have to worry about overhead managing servers. It's done. Everything is done for me in the background. And they're going to execute that function to send the email when I tell it. So I use Postmark because it's free. But you can use anything that you like, right? Everything running seamlessly in the background, just ready to make this happen for me. And what we see on the screen is this very process. You can see how first it created that Netlify function. Let me see if I can pause. If I can't, it's OK. And then it's going to tell us that we need to update our HTML to change. One of the things that I asked for also was instead of typing the issue number in the repo org and name, I just want a single URL, drop it there, and be done. So it's going to automatically alter that so it parses through that content. It gives me the information I'm asking for as using AutoKit and the GitHub API. So bless you. Of course, you can see I want to use Postmark, and then automatically it's already preloading what I need. I still need to go in and actually put in my API keys, and Netlify makes it really easy for you to keep your secrets. If you're using the Netlify CLI, you already know this, but it's that simple. I went from an idea to a few steps of execution. I could have gone with the first thing that you saw. It would have done the job, but just for like pizzazz purposes, like we gave it a little bit more color. So now let's see if we can go into my editor and share some other things. Let me see if I can swap this. Go. It's not going. OK. Well, picture this. This is my text editor. I have this application. Not sure why it's not going. I'm on the right screen, but it's OK. So now I have this tiny little app, and there's a lot of things that GitHub Copilot Workspace can do for me at this point. I can now ask it to create tests, because up to this point, it's working off of very much boilerplate code. So I can ask it to go take a look at the files and identify where there will be an opportunity for me to create testing functions. I'm not a fan of writing unitary tests. It's not my thing. So great. It can do it for me. Another thing that I'm not super great at is being very pedantic and writing. I hate writing. So documentation always a struggle. That's something that I can also accomplish with GitHub Copilot. And if you could see what I see, you would be seeing that right now. But it's OK. Happy to join up after this so I can show you how to use it, how you can take a look at it. Let's see if I go back to my browser. Maybe I can show it to you on a code space. That is not it. That's my notes, friends. How about the editor? There we go. That's OK. No worries. Thank you. In the meanwhile, how about we get those entries into the issue so we can do our little draft as soon as we're done? Is that OK? So gh.io/comment. OK? Can I go back to the slides or no? No? OK. Can I share my web browser? I need a web browser to do the Raffle, though. Let's see if we can go back. I'm sure they're figuring it out in the back. But hey, another thing I wanted to share with you before we go back to that is that I can continue to iterate on this. On the go, I can use GitHub Mobile. Who's downloaded the app? If you haven't downloaded the app, give it a go. It's changed a lot in the past year. Now it has GitHub Copilot chat integrated in the app. So what you're watching there is a video. It's a screen recording from my own phone where I'm in my repo and I'm asking to add some things. I think it was like add a word cloud or something so that we can display your comments. So even on the go, you have the capability of utilizing GitHub Copilot for what you need. So as we start wrapping up, I want to sort of bring us full circle to where we started, right? Talking about the power and transformation technology, how adopting new technologies can help us. This project today, I think it mirrors that in a sense that is going through all the stages with us, right? The planning, the execution, the designing, the testing, the documentation. You've seen it in action. This is not, well, not the editor part, but I can show you that after. It's no longer theoretical. This technology is here. We need to use it. We need to take advantage of it. This made that, for me, a lot more fun than it would have if I had to manually create every single one of those files. So lean into what we have. And let's give one more chance for all of you to enter the Raffle, if you may. And then, can I share my browser, please? Let's see. If I can share my browser, we're going to do it old school. I'm going to turn my computer around, and I'm going to lift it up like I'm singing you a song. And that's what's going to happen. And that's fine. So again, you don't need to do anything. Just leave a comment. That's all you need to do. And then we're going to go in. And if I am able to share my screen, we'll do that. And if not, it's going to be a concert here. Let's see. Am I able to share my screen? So it's not happening, folks. So I'm going to unplug myself from here, or I'll just turn it around and show you. I don't want to disturb what's going on in the background. So here is the most recent, right? And I apologize for having to do it this way, but we work with what we have. We roll with the punches. I'm going to go ahead and paste that issue number. So if you haven't commented, please do it now so that I can make sure that your comment is part of the Raffle. OK? And let's go ahead and fetch those comments. And I hope they were nice, or I'm going to be very sad. Well, we need to edit that word cloud for sure because it's very tiny. It says good, accounted, thank you, testing. OK, so I have 29 of you who signed up for it. Let's go ahead and pick a winner. And this would be a lot funner if it was on the big screen. But we have Cyril Halp. Cyril Halp. Ah, you got it. There you go. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, friends, for being happy when people win. I hate it when people don't do that. So thank you again for being here. I hope that we stay connected. You know, remember the power of GitHub Copilot is here for you, and leaning into the technology is powerful, like Netlify. Anyone can be a developer, even me with my technical issues. So thank you for your time. I hope we stay connected. That's my LinkedIn. I'd love to talk to you later. If you want to see how to use the agents and / commands live, I'll be over there somewhere with my laptop. And you, sir, come get your baby. Thank you all so much.